In this video, we're going to be adding in a simple health UI here on our game. So we're going to have it say health and then whatever our player's current health is, which it is 3 right now. And then if we take a damage, you'll see it went down to 2, goes down to 1, and so on. And then we also fixed our players or our enemies here so they're actually walking on the ground instead of in the air a little bit. So we'll go ahead and we'll jump in and get started. So we're going to start off by adding in a text game object so that we're going to call that one the player health. So down here in UI, we'll select text mesh pro. And you might get this pop up if you haven't installed it already. So we'll go ahead and import the TMP essentials. So once we have this here, we can go ahead and I'm going to click this and rename mine to player health text. And then over here, if you scroll out a little bit in your scene view, you'll see the canvas here as well. I'm gonna move mine up as I want it to be towards the top. And then I'm gonna scroll down a little bit, and I think that this looks kind of big. So I think I might adjust this down maybe to like 32 or something along those lines. And we can change this a little bit later. And then over here in the top left, I'm going to click this to anchor. So it's going to be anchored in the top left corner as well. And that's going to show. So if we click, we have this play maximized. And we play the game, it's always going to be up here in the top left corner for us, which is what we want. And then I'm also going to change the color. I think changing it to a black like this is going to make it look a little bit better. And maybe I'll also set it to bold. And I think that I'm still going to lower this down, maybe to like a 28 or so for now. So the next thing that we're going to need is our UI manager. So I'm going to create an empty object and I'm just going to call this one UI manager. And then we're also going to need a script. So we'll create a script over here and I'm going to again just call this one UI manager. All right, so inside our script here, we're going to do a couple of things. We'll remove those as we shouldn't need them. And then here, we're actually going to want to be using TMP or TM Pro. I'm going to clear this up a little bit. I'll get rid of that and also get rid of update as we shouldn't need those. Now up top, we're only going to need the one variable, and this one is going to be public, and it's going to be a text mesh pro UGUI here, and I'm going to call mine health text. And then here in start, what we're going to want to do is we're going to want to say player health, and I'm going to call it player health. Oops. And this is going to be find object of type, and then of type player health. So this is going to find the player health component that is in the scene. And then what we'll do is we'll say if the player health is not null, so exclamation point equal null. So if it does not equal null, so if there is a player health object, then we're going to update our health. So what we'll do is we'll create that first. So down here, we're going to say public void, and then update health, we'll call it. And in here, this is going to take in an int, and it's going to take in the current health. So here, we're going to adjust the health text. So the health text dot text, and that's going to equal, this will be whatever we want it to say. So we want ours to say health with one of those, and then a space, and then we'll say plus, this is going to be plus current health dot toString. So it's going to take our current health, and it's going to take it from an int and put it into a string. And then this is going to update the health display text for us. And so we want to do here on start. So we want to make sure that this is initialized right at the beginning. So what we'll do is we're going to say update health. And then the current health is going to be the player health dot current health, because remember down here, it takes in a current health. And that's going to initialize the health text with the player's current health whenever the game starts up. So we'll go ahead and save that. Now back in the editor here, we can take the script, and if we add it onto our UI manager, you'll see that this currently says new text, but if we click on play, this should change. Oops. Sorry. So what we have to do is the UI manager, if we stop this, we never assigned our health text, so we need to drag this into here. And then if we click on play, this should change from new text to our health. And it currently says we have 0 health. However, we do have 3 health, not 0 health. So I'm gonna put this back to play focused and press play one more time here just to show you. It's saying that we have 0 health, even though if you look at the player, we do actually have 3 as a current health. That's simply because it's not initializing properly, and we can definitely fix that here. So to fix this, what we can do is we can go back to our player health script, and what we can do is right here where we're initializing or setting our current health to equal our max health at the beginning, we can actually change this start method to an awake method. So awake runs before start. Since the awake method is going to run before start, this is going to ensure that our health is set before the start method runs in the other script there. I could definitely pop up an image here showing the execution order that Unity uses in case anybody's interested. There are a lot of different functions. I will provide a link to the documentation in the description if you want to look at the rest of them. Now, if we go back in here and if we test this out, we'll see that this changes to health 3. So that's working out good for us. One thing is I still think this is too big, so I'm going to move this down again to, I don't know, maybe like 24 or something. Just feel like it's too big for me, but we'll leave it like that. You can adjust the placeholder text as well, where it says new health or new text. You can change it to like health or something if you wanted, so it makes more sense. So now if we test this one more time, one of the things, so it does say that our health is 3, and if we go and we get hit by the enemy, it should update, but it's not. We're not actually losing any health, even though we've died and we've lost all of our health. So we'll want to go ahead and fix that now. So there are several ways that we can fix this. For us, we're just going to be adding a reference in our player health script to our update health method. This is going to be relatively efficient, and it's going to keep the separation of responsibilities. So it's going to have the player health script handle the health logic, and then the UI manager script handle updating the UI. So inside the player health script here, back up at the top, what we're going to want to do is we'll put in a private, and this is going to be an int, or sorry, this is going to be a type of UI manager, and I'm going to call it UI manager. And then down here in our awake method, we're going to find the UI manager. So underneath current health, we're going to say UI manager, and that's going to equal find object of type UI manager, like so. And then now down here in our take damage script, so whenever we're taking damage, this is where we want to be updating that the current health, so it updates the health display for us. So right below current health and where we're taking the damage, and then right above where we would die is a good place for this. And what we'll do is we're going to say if the UI manager is not null again, so we want to check to make sure that we have a UI manager. And if it's not, then what we're going to say is UI manager dot update health, and then we're going to pass in again that current health that we need to put in there, and that should update the health display for us every time that we take damage. So jumping back in here, if we press play and try this out one more time, we start at 3 health, And then if we run into the enemy, it drops down to 2, drops down to 1, drops down to 0, and so on. So that part is now working correctly. So one thing that we can fix here is the enemy. So you can see that they're not actually touching the ground, which is kind of doesn't look very good. So what we can do is we can go in here and we'll just double click to hop to one of the enemies here. And they should all be at the same height. So what we'll do is I'm actually just going to select all of them and then scroll in here a bit and then just kind of move these down so that they're all at the same height. And so they're all actually on the ground, because that doesn't look very good. And it looks like maybe the same with our player. I don't remember if our player actually falls down or not though, once the game starts. Yeah, the player actually drops down. So now they're actually on the ground, which looks a lot nicer in my opinion. So that's how we set up the UI, and that's how it's working for us now. Maybe in a couple later videos, we'll add in like a score and those kind of things, and maybe a timer as well that we'll also incorporate with the UI. And then one other thing that we're going to want to fix later on in a later video is how the player just kind of gets stuck on the enemy there like that. That's not something we want. And then we'll also add the ability for the player to kill the enemies as well. So those are things we'll be working on in future videos, but thank you for watching.